Hello again. Welcome back for more Let's Play Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. Well, we should head straight towards the clock shop, which is right in front of us, according to that. But we're gonna detour a little, because there are puzzles waiting for us. Mainly from these people. Let's talk to you. So, spill the beans. Just how much trouble did that hat get you into? Is it that obvious? Oh yeah, you got a slight shell-shocked look about you. But enough about that. Now that you're here, there's something I'd like your help with. Number 41, carrying glasses. Worth 20 points. Rubbing his back, the waiter sighed wearily and said, I always use the same box to carry as many glasses as I can at a time, but there's one type of glass I hate carrying. Of the 4 glass types pictured here, which one is the waiter talking about? Keep in mind, they all weigh the same. Well, notice he's rubbing his back when he says he hates carrying the glasses. So that would lean towards, he's probably talking about heavy, you know. So, which ones of these glasses could you possibly fit the most of in any type of box? B. The glasses will stack pretty much infinitely. All these other setups, you can only get 1 row of them at most. Maybe 2 in case of A and C. Maybe. But B, you can get a bunch of ones in there.
Let's see if I've got this right. Just as I suspected.
Very good. The glass type in question is B. This is the only kind of glass that's stackable, and when you stack several, they become very heavy and a pain to carry. What's the story with that hat of yours, anyway? You must be awfully attached to it to keep it on, knowing the kind of trouble it can cause. Now, you're quite right about that. I dare say this hat is one of my most prized possessions. Well, I can see there's no persuading you to take it off. But be careful out there. These days, seems like there's trouble around every corner of London. And we're done here. And we're going to slowly meander our way towards the clock shop here. Did you happen to notice that odd flower growing in the abandoned shop on Southern Midland Road? No, I can't say that I have. What's so strange about that particular flower? Supposedly, it attracts puzzles that have disappeared from their original location. Like a Venus flytrap for puzzles? That's what the rumors say anyway. I've never actually seen it for myself. But if those rumors are true, we'll have the ability to retrieve any puzzles we've left behind. I'd say that kind of reward more than warrants an investigation of the shop. What do you say, Professor? What do we have to lose? The shop in question is just a quick stroll away, and being able to visit lost puzzles would be very useful. Then what's stopping us? Let's go! Now that was your hint, you're not going to be able to walk straight towards the shop. It wants you to go back and take a look at that, take a look at the sunflower.
Watch out, Professor. There's a bee over there.
Now, Luke, I'm sure he won't hurt us, as long as we don't bother him.
If you say so.
You know, I've never seen a bee quite like this. Can you try talking to him, Luke?
I suppose I can give it a shot.
Well, look at Mr. Tall out here. Clearly he knows a bee of distinction when he sees one.
Wow, you're not like any bee I've ever met.
Isn't that what I just said? Well, it's true. I'm no run-of-the-eye bee, but I do try to blend in.
You'd probably have better luck blending in if you didn't talk.
Sure, whatever you say, smart guy. But listen, I've got something you should hear. You know those puzzles you don't get around to solving? Well, they all come hang out with me. You see, I have what you might call one of them magnetic personalities.
Wait, are you saying you've got the same job as Granny Riddleton?
Granny who? I don't know no grannies. But my name is Beasley.
Beasley. My God.
I'm gonna tell you how to peruse those puzzles now. So listen good.
I'm all ears.
Tap that flower over there to see a list of all the puzzles I've got. It's as simple as that. So anytime you get a craving to solve some of the puzzles you left behind, come here. Did that all make sense? Because people tell me I do tend to drone on. Get it? Drone?
It makes perfect sense.
All right then. You have fun with those puzzles, and I'll be here if you need me. So, go on. Get to it.
And no puzzles to solve. What a surprise. Anyway, now it will hopefully not prevent us from, going to the clock tower. But he will, because he's got a puzzle. Watch out, you guys. Can't you see you're standing in the middle of a construction site? It's good to see the construction appears to be moving along. If only that were the case. See, we hit a snag. Look at these boards here. Those are an odd shape. What are you using them for? Nothing right now. I got cases of these things, but I can't work with them. I need square boards, see? What's it got to do? Puzzle 43. Making the cut. Worth 20 points. The piece of wood below is an odd shape that's difficult to work with. Your task is to cut it into two pieces that, when combined, form a square. Because of the grain of the wood, however, the two pieces can't be flipped or rotated after being cut. Draw lines that show where to make this cut, then tap submit. Yeah. Yep, the easy way to figure this out is we need a 5x5 group here. Well, we have 5x5 here. So obviously we want to leave everything there alone. And it's a safe bet that we will want to leave everything there alone too. This is perfectly fine. So what we need to mess with is making this extend out to about here. And the way we can do that is by cutting this little 6-block square off. Well, let's do that, shall we? And when you take it off, you'll be able to put it right in here, which they will show you in just 1 second.
Well, that's settled.
That wasn't too hard, right? No, just wait. These get harder. Hey, look at that. One cut, and I've got the square boards now. Thanks for the idea, friend. So, let's go towards the clock shop, shall we? There's the shop. The door was locked earlier, and no one would answer it when we knocked. That's because you didn't know the secret knock. Watch this. Come on in. Go on, try the door now. Well, let's see. It doesn't look like anyone's here. Well, look who's back. Ah, what are you doing hiding there? I see you've learned the secret knock, dearie. Actually, it was I who did the knocking, Spring. Is Cogg around? There you are, Luke. Cogg's in the back room. Oh, are you friends with the owners of the clock shop, Luke? I suppose I neglected to mention that earlier. Yes, Spring and Cogg have been helping me. Cogg actually explains the situation better than I do, so you should ask him about it. Alright, let's hear what he has to say. Or, before we hear what he has to say, technically this may not be a new screen, but they have reloaded it. And let's see, yep, there's number 2. And number 3. See if you have anything to say. Yeah. Anything important? Nope. And guess what? There's one. I think over here? Yes. And there's number 3. Let's talk to you. I thought I heard voices up front. Nice to see you again, Professor and, Luke, the Professor's apprentice. Yes, Luke, of course. Cogg, would you mind talking a bit about the wormhole and how it all started? I think it would help get everyone on the same page. It'd be my pleasure. You there, Luke. The smaller Luke, that is. Yes? Tell me, boy, what does this contraption behind me look like to you? Well, big old clock. Right you are. By my estimates, this clock is well over 100 years old. The old gal needs a lot of TLC to keep chugging along, so I spend quite a bit of time on maintenance. I was right in the middle of oiling up her gears one day when 2 family goons busted in. Here we go. This has got to be the place the boss was talking about. For sure. Hey boss, there's a big clock here, just like you said. It's a real antique. Come over and see. Just what do you two think you're doing barging in my shop? And get your hands off my clock. Can it, Gramps? You don't get to tell us what to do. Don't you know who you're dealing with? Yeah, a bunch of blockheads who won't leave my shop. If I were you, I'd keep a civil tongue in my head, old man. Now out of the way. We got a schedule to keep. What are you clowns putzing around for? Get to work! If we don't hurry, things won't be ready by the time you know who talked about. Sorry, Bostro, we're trying our best, but Gramps is making things difficult. Don't be a lunkhead. You know how to deal with difficult. Throw him out on the street. Let me go, you dirtbags. We're just gonna go for a little walk, Gramps. That's okay with you, isn't it? You keep your filthy hands off my clock. You hear me? We're just about on schedule, but we have to wait to turn this thing on until it's the exact time the big guy mentioned. That's all I heard before those brutes tossed me out of my own shop. It wasn't until later that I found out what the thugs wanted from my little clock shop. See, the family funded the construction of a time machine by some scientists. I think the idea was to use it to create some type of wormhole or warp point. But how did they manage to do that? Beats me. It was all mumbo-jumbo. Something about opening up a vortex in the flow of time. Anyway, for whatever reason, the plan didn't go exactly as they anticipated. I see, and somehow this hole in time manifested itself in or near this clock of yours. That'd be the case, yet. The clock here's been ticking away for over 100 years. My guess is that something about the clock's age caused the warp point to gravitate to this spot. Yep, the wormhole, or whatever it's called, was pulled here and became part of my clock. Thing is, I'm the only one who can keep that old gal running. Which means, like it or not, Spring and I are the only people who can open and close this wormhole. That's really strange. It's a burden, is what it is. Once the family found out about what I could do, they forced me to work the clock for them. After a while, I caught wind of Cogg's situation, I'm sure it goes without saying, but Cogg isn't a part of the family. In fact, the family's been nothing but a source of trouble for poor Cogg. It sure sounds that way. Knowing that, I approached Cogg and Spring and explained my idea to them. After getting them on board with my idea, Cogg fired up the machine and helped get my message to you. And upon receiving your letter, my curiosity took myself and Luke on a journey that led us here. That's quite the plan you drummed up, Big Luke. Thank you, but it's about to get even more interesting. Oh? Professor, with Cogg's help, we can send you and little Luke back to your own time. You'll be able to ask Inspector Chelmey all the questions you want. But when you're done chatting, you will come back to put a stop to what's going on here, won't you? Luke, you of all people should know the answer to that question. I keep my promises, and I intend to solve the problem here. It's what a gentleman would do. Thank you, Professor. That was exactly the answer I was hoping for. Well, I wouldn't dream of leaving things here in this state. You said it yourself, Big Luke. The only one who can stop Herschel Layton is Herschel Layton himself. Quite right. My apologies. I should never have doubted you. And with that, it's time to cut the video. So when we return, it is time to return and go back to the future. See you then, folks. Bye.